Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I have got a run through of my map 8 day 1 paths. Of course, this is brand new AQ game mode map, and yeah, just finished slightly earlier today, but I was traveling, so I've just kind of been squeezing my fights in where I could and then making sure I took some recording so I can make a video out of it. And yeah, hopefully if there's no other videos out there of these paths, then these might be useful to someone else who perhaps is a bit tighter on options, or just maybe found the nodes slightly shakier and needed to see someone else's gameplay. So I've actually got a 5-star Doom on my team because my 6-star was in war, so I guess this is nice to show that the 5-star can do it as well. I think I do actually die once on this path with the 5-star Doom, just because I forget about stun immunity being a thing as part of the nodes, and I think I throw a special 3 or something like that and then they don't get stunned. Something happens, we'll see when we get to it, but I die. So getting on to the actual path, so I'm running path 5 in all 3 tiers. Very nice, because not so much the paths themselves, they were actually quite nice to be fair, but more so just the fact that it is 555, very easy to remember. I'm gonna go write them down actually after this recording, because I've just remembered I haven't done that yet, but it is just nice to know that it's easy. So another thing you'll see I'll forget in this fight is obviously when Hulkbuster has an armor up, he's gonna be able to reduce your ability accuracy, and yeah, I just assume some things will work, and I think I eat a special 3 here and survive. But yeah, getting away from the specifics of this fight and my sloppiness that will occur. The nodes, so you have the crossfight. So in map 8, every lane seemingly has a crossfight. Here you can see some abilities failing because of 2 armor ups. Lovely stuff. Where was I? Oh right, yeah. So the lanes, all of the map 8 lanes have crossfights to try and essentially go with this theme of, we want you to try and use one champ for the whole path, and we'll give you this crossfight to make it much more manageable. And in theory, I guess it's kind of nice, it's different, freshens things up from map 7. But then, come day 5, which we're yet to see how the PI will scale up by then, could get very annoying if you make a mistake, or even just any day really, you just have a bit of a bad day and you make a mistake, then that champ's dead, and now suddenly you've got to revive and heal them instead of using alternative because of they're the one with the crossfight, and I think the crossfights as well last a certain number of fights, so you die, you've wasted a fight, and yeah, you probably can't finish the path using the crossfight and you'll have to work around it. So definitely there'll be some kinks for them to figure out. I think one thing that my Alliance main officer Campo suggested is just take out the crossfights. They're trying to be interesting with it, that's fine, but just take them out. It'd be much easier if you just put the what those crossfight abilities are on each node of the path, and then it means you can alternate between champs that you use, and also just not risk not having the crossfight if you die, etc. But they'll figure things out. It is literally day 1 and well, going into day 2 now as I record this, but yeah. So the crossfight for this particular lane, and also my lane in tier 3, because my tier 1 and 3 lanes share a node, which is great because that means I only need to talk through it once as well. It's called Infuriating or something along those lines, something about getting furious, which I've certainly seen a few people do. Not through this node, but just map 8 in general so far. But yeah, so the aim here is basically it's supposed to work along with the Divine Barrier. Divine Barrier is part of the nodes, they go immune to Nullify for I think 10 seconds, something like that, and then this crossfight lets you kind of benefit from it. So every time your Nullify fails, you'll get a charge called a Furious Charge or something like that. If you hit 5 of those, then every time you go into this Furious mode, and then every time you do Nullify a buff in that Furious mode, you do some burst damage to them. So quite nice if you time it right. Potentially helps you get your fights down a bit quicker. But yeah, other than that, like I say, so that's the crossfight. on the nodes I mentioned Divine Barrier. Then they've also got that one that gives them stun immunity after they throw a special. And I feel like there was something else. Can't remember it. It's probably not as important because I think Divine Barrier and the stun immunity after throwing specials are the main two, but if I spot it in a future fight or just after I stop this recording, I'll add it in. But otherwise, that will probably be it in terms of talking through both tiers 1 and 3 for paths 5, because they're, like I say, they're the same node, just different matchups. I use my rank 3 Claire in tier 3, just to switch it up really, and obviously I make some mistake, as I said, with Doom, so he's taken a bit of a battering by then. Oh yes, that's the other node, there we go, I've just seen it, so I can add it in here. When you reach 2 bars of power, the opponent gets a power gain buff, which will give them 1 bar of power over a certain amount of seconds. So obviously, if Divine Barrier is not up, you can just nullify it. If it is up, then you've got to deal with them getting power, and then if they throw their special, they go stun immune. So you can see that getting potentially shaky if they all line up to work against you. But all in all, really not a bad path. My Doom dying, which is going to happen on this fight, to my good friend Nova, is my own doing. So not a bad set of nodes. Of course, it's day 1. I may eat my own words on future days, but yeah, I found it pretty alright to manage for tiers 1 and 3. And yeah, I'll be back in tier 2. Alright, just swallowing a bit of dinner there, that came out weird. I'll just leave that in for the pants. Right, so yeah, next up we've got a shared fight here that I stepped forward to go for. And it's a Odin with flux dispersal, so every hit you do to them will give them a charge and reduce your damage. You reset those charges by doing a heavy, however they, as you see there, have right back at it, so when you knock them down with anything, they become immune to debuffs for, I want to say 4 seconds, I can't remember exactly. Yeah, he has something else on him as well, which will maybe discover soon when I stop this current voiceover and go back to look at it. But yeah, the main reason to have a quick talk over this one was just, it's gonna go like right to the wire. I nearly timed out on this one. And that's a bit worrying, because this is day one, so yeah, I'm sure rank 3 6-star Doom would get through him quicker. And yeah, I'll probably figure out a way to play it faster, probably just knock him down every time I can and throw my own special straight after, because both the special 1 and 2, and well actually all 3 specials, yeah, with Doom are projectiles. That's the third node, pull. So yeah, your projectiles do, based attacks do more damage. I can't remember how much, and any other normal attack will do about 75% less damage, something like that, you know, don't quote me on the numbers, but projectiles do more, normal hits do less. You've also got flux dispersal, so if you don't knock them down with a heavy, your damage gets reduced even further there, and then if you knock them down, then they go immune to debuffs, so not a fun matchup of nodes, but again, it's also not the worst to do. Obviously get him down without using anything, but you know, for a 3-minute timer, this was tight, and I would like to see 5-minute timers brought to map 8, because this is something that was mentioned they would look at, so when they're done looking, it would be nice that they also add it in, you know. But you know, it's something that would be helpful. I've heard of quite a few of the main problems from map 8 so far just being sorry, as I was saying, problems with map 8 so far. One of the biggest ones seems to just be time. I've seen a lot of people say they nearly timed out or did time out and would just love for 5-minute timers, plus Kabam say they want to get rid of Corvus timeouts, so you know, extending the timers helps reduce that even further. Anyway, on to my tier 2. So here, if you perform a well-timed block, so parry, or you gain 1 vigilance buff. If you do an intercept, you gain 2, and you want those because every 10 hits on your combo meter, so that was a cross fight. But now on the node itself, for this path, every 10 hits on your combo meter, they place a falter on you. So yeah, those vigilance buffs are really easy to stack up, you know, like every parry, as you can see there, gives you 1. So you could literally start the fight out and just parry loads to make sure you've got them all built up, and then play it fairly freely and not really pay attention. And then as you see there, intercepts will also give you 2. So you want to intercept on this node, on this path, because it's also got ebb and flow intercept, and they've thrown in foresight as well, so it's just all about landing your parries and intercepting. So who knows, you know, this path could be good for practice at both. Although my intercept technique is going to be pretty unique because it's just moleman, and boy does he shred this path. This path is really fun. Like, of my 3 paths, I really enjoyed this one. There was literally 3 fights and he just shreds all 3 really fast. In fact, the third one literally only gets slowed down a little bit because of Hercules' immortality. So that's, you know, there's 2 fights where I've had a bit of just lingering, waiting around. But yeah, it is what it is. It's not bad at all for me. So yeah, liking my paths after day 1. And there's really not much else to say to this. Just have a good way of intercepting. So get someone who you feel comfortable in intercepting with. And then yeah, land those intercepts to get your vigilance charges. Get some parries in as well at the start to maybe build them up early. That's about it. Just, yeah, moleman would probably be my #1 option for this path if I was giving the advice to anyone else, because of how well it worked for me. But I will be interested to actually have a look around YouTube videos, line chats and so on, to see who else people are using. I don't see myself switching, but you never know if moleman needs to be in war, for example, which he does sometimes. Could be interesting to see another option here. But yeah, that's all to say for this path. Pretty straightforward. I'll let you watch out the rest of it, and then I think I'll be back. Like I said, I won't talk over tier 3 because it's the same as tier 1, but I will probably be back at the end. I think I throw in one extra fight that I've just taken at the start of day 2, which is a shared fight. Yeah, I'll get to that one when it pops up.
This doesn't look good. Let's see what he's done this time.
Hey.
Alright, so here we have a Cat Marvel movie with Flux Dispersal right back at it, and Paul. So this is a day 2 fight, because I've just started, and this time it was left up. Someone else had taken it yesterday, so today it was left up, and I figured I'd go for it. And yeah, it's not going to be some huge skill showcase, it's just doing melting it as I suppose any mystic with projectiles would, or just any champ with projectiles. Really, it shouldn't be too hard, but yeah, someone like Doom will just even better, because he just generally destroys Cat Marvel movies like almost anywhere. And then of course here, you know, Flux Dispersal right back at it. They're not really going to gimp him enough to make it matter, so yeah, it's a really quick kill, and just figured it'd be worth throwing in there. But yeah, that will be it really in terms of the talking through of any of my fights. I'll just end on saying that my first impressions of map 8 is it's off to a good start, and I look forward to them hopefully working on the kinks as we go through it, you know, some of the little things that people notice, and feedback to them as needing some changes. But yeah, it's just something new, something fresh. I am so relieved that it looks like it won't, you know, significantly add to the time it takes to clear AQ, which has always been one of the biggest drags with AQ, is just the fact that it feels like a full day chore at times. But no, I had a really busy day yesterday, and busy weekend in general actually, so the fact that I was able to just get on in short bursts and take this down felt really good, in terms of it being manageable on time constraints. So yeah, of course that is just one set of paths that I've taken. I will be on the lookout for other people's videos and see how they're going. I know there might be more complaints on other paths, but if you're running past 5 in any tier, I've done it in all 3 now, day 1, not bad at all. I'll see how I feel by day 5, and that will be a better indicator going forward, I guess. But yeah, that will be all, and take care. See you in the next video.